You ever wonder why, despite all the motivation videos, all the gym memberships, and all the grand plans we make, so many people never really reach their fitness goals? It's a question that cuts deeper than surface-level excuses. It challenges the core of what it means to commit to transformation. Here's the truth. Wanting change isn't enough. Wanting to be stronger, fitter, healthier, leaner, or more disciplined doesn't guarantee results. It never has. Because desire alone is a flicker, a spark that often dies out before it ignites anything real. The difference between those who reach their potential and those who don't is not talent, genetics, or even time. It's choice, the choice to show up when motivation fades, when the comfort of the couch calls louder than the clanging of the weights. Think about it. How many mornings have you told yourself, "Today is the day. I'm going to crush this workout"? And yet, hours later, the alarm snoozes again, the gym bag remains untouched, and the dream slips one day further away. This isn't failure. It's a universal human experience. We're wired to seek ease, to avoid discomfort, to choose immediate comfort over long-term gain. But what if I told you that this struggle, this tension between what you want and what you do, is the gateway to your transformation? That the very moment you feel like quitting, or skipping, or postponing is exactly where your breakthrough begins. Because here's another uncomfortable truth. No one is coming to save you. No coach, no friend, no motivational quote on Instagram is going to lift you out of the inertia. The harsh reality is that the battle for your body, your health, your future starts and ends with you. And this is why so many people fail. Not because they lack potential, but because they misunderstand what motivation really means. It's not a constant force. It's not some magical energy that fuels you every second. Motivation is fleeting, a visitor, not a resident. It's that rush of excitement before a race, the adrenaline before lifting a heavy weight, the thrill of a new challenge. But lasting transformation, that demands more than motivation. It demands discipline. Discipline is the quiet voice that says, "I'll do it even when I don't feel like it." It's the decision to prioritize your long-term vision over short-term comfort. And here's the kicker. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build moment by moment, choice by choice. Pause and consider this. If you could master discipline, if you could show up every day no matter how tired, distracted, or unmotivated you feel, how different would your life look in just 30 days? In 90 days? In a year? That's the true power of choice. The power to rewrite your story, not by waiting for some perfect day, but by owning every imperfect one. Now, let's get honest with ourselves for a second. What are the real reasons you haven't pushed harder? Is it time? Stress? Fear of failure? Maybe it's the nagging voice in your head that whispers, "I'm not good enough," or "This is too hard for me." These are the barriers that hold us captive, mental prisons disguised as excuses. But here's the paradox. Those barriers are also your greatest opportunity. Because once you recognize them, once you name them, you can dismantle them. You can train your mind as much as your body. You can develop resilience that outlasts fleeting feelings and creates habits that define your identity. This is the moment to ask yourself, are you ready to stop playing small? To stop settling for good enough? Because here's the secret. Nobody remembers the person who almost showed up. Nobody celebrates the nearly successful. They remember the relentless, the ones who push through, the ones who choose beast mode every single day. So, if you've been waiting for motivation to magically appear, or for the stars to align, or for some external force to drag you into action, let this be your wake-up call. The power to change your body, your mind, your future is in your hands right now. But make no mistake, this path isn't easy. It's a battle, a grind, a relentless pursuit that requires more than just sweat. It demands mental toughness, grit, and a willingness to embrace discomfort as your teacher. Because that's what separates the winners from the rest. The willingness to do what others won't, to push past the pain, to get back up when the world tells you to quit. So here's the challenge I'm throwing down today. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop relying on feelings. Instead, make a decision, a commitment. Choose to step into beast mode, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you'd rather quit. Because every champion, every athlete, every person who's transformed their life has started at this exact crossroads, the choice between comfort and growth. And you're standing there right now. The question is, which path will you take? There comes a moment in every journey when the alluring comfort of inertia collides head-on with the burning desire for transformation. It's that internal battlefield where your ambition wrestles with your instinct for ease, the very moment when most falter, and only the determined push forward. You see, the path to greatness is not paved with ease. It is carved from relentless resolve. Ask yourself, why does the human mind so often seek refuge in complacency? Because comfort is a siren's call, promising rest but delivering regret. The couch beckons, the snooze button seduces, and the excuse, "I'll start tomorrow," echoes in the chambers of procrastination. But tomorrow is a mirage that never materializes unless today's resolve cuts through the fog. This turning point, the confrontation with your own limits, is no ordinary challenge. It is a crucible that tests not just your physical endurance but your mental fortitude. Imagine an elite athlete preparing for a crucial competition. The countless hours of grueling training, the early mornings drenched in sweat, the relentless push beyond pain. These are not sacrifices but investments in a future only visible through the lens of perseverance. Science tells us that the human brain is wired to avoid discomfort, but it is precisely through discomfort that growth occurs. When you lift that weight just one more time, when you push through the final sprint despite burning lungs, you are literally rewiring your neural pathways, strengthening your willpower and resilience. The pain you feel is the raw material of your transformation. Yet, transformation doesn't happen in an instant. It is built upon rituals, daily, almost mundane acts that accumulate into monumental change. The power lies not in sporadic bursts of effort, but in the unwavering commitment to show up, day after day, even when motivation wanes. Small wins compound, habits form, and before you know it, the act of pushing yourself becomes second nature. Consider this. The very thought of the struggle ahead can be paralyzing, but embracing that struggle is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Discomfort is not your enemy. It is the crucible in which your potential is forged. To hesitate is to surrender. To lean into the challenge is to claim your destiny. And so, as you stand at this precipice, torn between comfort and ambition, remember, this is the moment where your story could change forever. The beast mode mindset is not some mythical state reserved for the extraordinary. It is a decision, a mindset choice. In the next act, we will unlock how to awaken that fierce, unyielding drive inside you. The catalyst that turns intention into unstoppable action. Because the truth is simple, winners don't wait for the perfect moment. They create it. Now that you stand on the edge of possibility, armed with clarity about the battle within, the question remains, how do you ignite that dormant fire and channel it into relentless forward motion? The answer lies in mastering the art of intentional discipline, transforming fleeting motivation into unwavering habit. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the furnace that sustains the blaze. It is the commitment to showing up, not because you feel like it, but because your future self demands it. Begin by crafting a ritual so powerful it commands your attention each day. Maybe it's waking up before dawn to crush your workout before the world stays, or setting a sacred space for training that signals to your mind and body. This is where transformation happens. Consistency is your ally. Whether you lift heavy, run farther, or push harder, the cumulative effect of small, daily victories will elevate you beyond what you once thought possible. Remember, progress is not linear. You will face setbacks, fatigue, and doubt. But here's the secret of champions. They acknowledge these hurdles without surrender. They recalibrate, refocus, and return stronger. Your mindset is the ultimate game changer. Train it with the same vigor as your muscles. Speak to yourself with resolve and compassion. Visualize the version of you who has conquered the hardest days and emerged victorious. Harness the power of accountability. Share your goals with a trusted friend or community that fuels your ambition. When you know someone is watching, cheering, and challenging you, the inertia of lethargy loses its grip. And never underestimate the transformative energy of music. The thumping rhythm, the pounding beat, it is a language that stays primal motivation deep within. Let your workout soundtrack be the anthem of your ascent. Finally, remember this. The journey you embark on today is a declaration. A statement that you refuse to be defined by your excuses or limitations. You are claiming ownership of your strength, your resilience, and your destiny. So rise up, ignite that beast mode within you, and let every rep, every sprint, every breath fuel the narrative of a life lived without compromise. Your best self awaits, not tomorrow, not next week, but now.